Keir Starmer keeps droning on about his toolmaker dad, to the point where he came onto a debate, and when he said about his toolmaker, the audience were laughing, and he got annoyed because he thought they were mocking the idea that his father had a lowly job as a toolmaker. But what they were in fact laughing at was the fact it's so pathetic. He constantly references his toolmaker dad as if to engender in people, oh, we must vote for him because his dad was a toolmaker. So that's one of the things we've seen. The second thing is Angela Rayner, who I find a
classist.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is she can't string a sentence together.
Yeah.
And as somebody with very poor grammar, automatically scores no points.
And she's not a nice person as well. She comes across as not a nice person.
And she's been exposed in the debates because she's been robotic in her responses. And at one point, she referenced the fact she had to have free school meals, and she had to queue behind the other kids because, she's a monstrous woman. She's about 6 foot tall. She can't have done that badly on barging away to the front on the free school meals.
Not like me.
Yeah, exactly. Always first to the front of the buffet line. So this behaviour, this victim thing, which is now spilling into... You don't want... my view is you don't want your politicians to present themselves as victims. You want your politicians to present...
You think so. Yeah.
So what's happening? And in tandem with this, at the same time as we were seeing this, that some stats came out showing that 1 million people since COVID have now signed on to universal credit as a result of mental health problems. So what is going on here? I know you've talked about this before, haven't you? But it's now spilling into the senior, who is going to be our future Prime Minister.
Yeah. The Rishi Sunak one, what was his example again?
Sky TV. He didn't have Sky TV when he was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what they're all trying to do is to relate to the average person on the street. We've made being a victim trendy and valuable. So most people, a lot of people want to be a victim because that stops you having to address your mistakes and correct your life, because how can I correct my life when people do these things to me? It's not my fault I'm poor, I'm unemployed, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm lazy. It's because of racism, it's because of fat phobia, it's because of transism. If someone gives you a gold-plated excuse, then why would you do the hard work and the heavy lifting to improve yourself and improve your life? And if you believe that, and most people do believe into it, then why would you try? Because you already know the cards are stacked against you. So you wouldn't do anything about it. The toolmaker one, really good example of politicians not understanding the common person. When he says, my dad was a toolmaker, I go, yeah, and you're the tool he made. How his advisors couldn't see that joke in that phrase. He should have said, my dad was a mechanic, my dad worked in a factory. To say,
is that why people are laughing?
I think so.
Because they're saying you're the tool.
You're the tool.
Yeah.
My dad's a tool maker. Yeah, well, he did make a tool, didn't he? You. But the fact he didn't get that, and no one's ever got that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you didn't get it. So I'm not saying most people get it. I'm just saying a significant part of the population get that joke.
I see.
Now, if you dig deeper in this, his dad wasn't a tool maker. His dad owned the factory where tools were made.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, his dad owned the factory that made tools.
So he's a liar.
Not a liar. He just is very clever with the wording. That's why he never changes that phrase.
Yeah.
Because he thinks if I change the phrase, it might make me a liar.
Right.
So I might slip up and change it, and then no. So he sticks to that phrase. His dad isn't what we thought he was. When you say my dad was a toolmaker, I imagine you at a lathe. With bits of iron filings.
That's what I think.
No. His dad owned the factory.
Oh, really?
So that's all in the press. That's not me making this up. Angela Rayner, I queued up for free school dinners. Well, you might have done, but that's irrelevant.
Yes.
Because the fact you did that, and I did that, all my schooling as well. I wrote about it in my first book.
Yeah.
Because when I queued up, I stood there and we queued up at break time on a Monday to get 5 tickets for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
and we queued up at the admin office. Everybody knew that was the queue for the poor kids. And we stood up, we queued up, and I stood there saying to myself, "Oh, this is okay. I don't mind. You know, my family's poor. I need a dinner.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I'll tell you what, my kid won't be stood in the queue like this."
Yeah.
That's what it did to me. Studying
There was
that
a
queue.
motivator. Yeah.
It wasn't me going, "How dare they make me stand in this queue?" Well, I am poor. I know I'm poor.
Yeah.
And if other people now know I'm poor, then what do I care?
But you know something, I don't remember, and I think my school meals were paid for. I can't remember how it worked when I was at school. But I don't remember the free school meals kids being in a separate line be delineated against on the...
It was another line to pick up your
vouchers.
5 vouchers.
But once you had your voucher,
that was it.
You were in with everybody else.
Yeah.
It didn't make any. It wasn't like
no.
I don't remember a separate table with free school meals the kids who were on free school meals. And I'm sure there were. There must have been. I went to comprehensive schools. Yeah. I don't remember them being particularly delineated.
They just would have queued up.
Yeah.
The first break, the 10 o'clock, 10:30 break on the Monday.
Yeah.
They'd have spent their 15-minute break queuing up outside the head's office
to get their 5
tickets, and that would have been it for the week.
Yeah.
So let's get back to it.
Sorry, yeah. So Angela Rayner queued up.
It was not her fault that she was poor. That was her parents' fault.
Yeah.
So not her fault.
Yeah.
And then from that, she's done well in life. She's now the deputy leader of the Labour Party and going to be deputy prime minister.
Yeah. Potentially a future prime minister.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So queuing up and being on free school meals didn't do her any harm.
No.
So that's... But what she's trying to signal there to the poor people in the Labour Party is, I'm just like you.
Yeah.
I'm just like you. I own several houses now and I don't pay tax when I sell my house, by the way. And I'm using all my expenses to buy iPhones and iPods and all. But I'm just like you when I was a kid. I was just a bit better than you because look where I finished. That's what she's saying to people.
Yeah.
And none of this plays with me at all.
No.
Because none of this as a child had anything to do with you. It was
do you think it plays with anybody, that?
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
really?
like, oh yeah, I can relate to her. She relates to me. She knows what it's like to be poor. Rishi Sunak is a billionaire. How can he relate to me? And these are the games of identity politics.
Yeah.
One of my greatest prime ministers ever, Winston Churchill, was never poor.
No.
Lived in a palace.
No. And he didn't pretend to be anything he wasn't either.
No, because those days you didn't have to. So we just need to be careful that we don't, and we're doing it already, we don't start rewarding traits that are no use to leaders.
Yes.
Having a trait in a leader that I used to be poor, well, who cares? It wasn't your fault.
I think that's a really important point. I don't want to be led by somebody who I don't think is particularly good or capable or what. Do you know what I mean? I want to be led by somebody I think is brighter than me, is quicker than me, is politically more astute than me, has knowledge. The problem, you always say I'm a classist about Angela Rayner. She can't string a sentence together. I'm not classist, Nick. I'm thickest. If I think somebody's thick and I think she's thick as 2 short planks, I don't want that person being my prime minister or my deputy prime minister. I want bright people.
I get that, but I think you've judged, part of your judgment is on her accent and the way she speaks.
No, I don't think that's right.
Well, only some of your judgments on that.
Okay, so one of my favourite, one of my favourite playwrights is, I forgot his name now, flipping it, because I'm under the spotlight. He's a Yorkshire playwright, Alan, he wrote The History Boys. Red hair. Anyway, he's from Yorkshire. He's got a very strong Yorkshire accent. Went to Oxford, Cambridge. Highly intelligent, articulate. Still a very strong accent, Yorkshire accent. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah. But he went to Oxford, Cambridge.
He did go to Oxford and Cambridge.
And the second you know that, then your classism goes.
No, because when he talks and the quality of his work is so high, I know he's an intelligent guy, and he's got a very strong Yorkshire accent, but I don't really mind. So I'm not.
She's easy to dislike because of things she said and the way she presents herself. But you're right. We don't need leaders being elected because they're the biggest victims. I don't want victims leading us. I want victors leading us.
Yes.
Did you like that video? I think you did. Hit the bell, give it a big thumbs up, comment, and don't forget I'm standing for election in Oldham East and Saddleworth So please share this video, speak to your family and friends if you live in Greater Manchester, and if you live in Oldham East and Saddleworth, make sure you vote for me. Catch you soon.